Today we're going to be reviewing Phantasialand, located in Cologne, Germany. Okay, hello there everyone and welcome back to day 9 of Festive Park Jack. Here we are then. I did just want to get all the European theme parks that I went to earlier this year, do all them and get them done, and then I am going to move on to doing some roller coaster reviews and talk about some rides and attractions that will be coming next year later this week and on to next week. Okay, so yeah, Phantasialand. Well, as I said yesterday in my Efteling review, it's between here and Efteling as to which is my favourite theme park in the world. Phantasialand is an absolutely brilliant place and it is just somewhere really good to visit, and I'm going to talk all about it today. And I'm also going to talk about it, more of a park spotlight actually this kind of is, and I might rename them to that, just like how I am renaming my reviews to roller coaster spotlights. I'm more kind of casting a shadow on how to and how best to visit the park, and kind of some tips for getting there and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's located around near a city called Cologne in Germany. It's not located anywhere near the city centre or anything like that. Again, straight off the motorway. I mean, it literally I mean, like from the motorway, I'm not sure if it was the actual autobahn that we were on. I can't remember now. It might have just been kind of a smaller highway. I can't remember whether it was that or kind of a larger autobahn. But yeah, we're on that, and you can literally see Phantasialand's rides from off the side of the road, and just come off there, and then yeah, you're straight in basically. Yeah, it wasn't kind of. The entrance won't blow you away, let's put it that way. It wasn't kind of as grand as it is at Efteling or at Toverland, to be honest. It's kind of a small little kind of track at the side, and that's it basically. You just drive down there. I mean, it was a bit of a construction site because they are actually in the progress of building the new Vekoma flying coaster ready for next year, actually called Fly. But yeah, so you drive down there, you've got the hotels, and then you can drive past all the other rides. Then there's a smaller car park off to the right, and there's actually a tunnel you can drive through into another car park on the other side of the road. But it's just not, kind of the outside of it isn't quite as grand, so like, you know, they aren't proper like tarmacked down car parks. They are kind of just on gravel and stuff. I mean, not that it matters in the slightest, but you know, I'm just pointing it out there, it's not kind of as grand. And as well, I did notice how like they've not kind of attempted to cover up the theming and the back of that from inside the park from what you can see outside. So when you're inside the park, every last detail is covered, whereas when you in the outside of the park, you know, they don't try and cover up, you know, the backs of theming and all that, which I really don't care. You know, you're just there to park your car and go in, aren't you? But you know, I just wanted to say that yeah, so the entrance isn't anything special, to be honest, but as soon as you walk through that entrance gate, you've spent your €49.50, which is more than worth it, and that's an absolute bargain for what you're getting. I mean, you walk straight in through there, and wow, you're just blown away straight away. You've got this massive double-decker carousel straight in front of you as you walk in, and stairs that go down to kind of the main street that they've got there, Berlin, and then at the end of that main street, you've got a massive chair swings with fountains, and it's really grand. It looks absolutely brilliant. And they also have one of the first rides there that you get to as well, called Mouse au Chocolat, which is a dark ride, which again is fantastic. Some of the best rides there do include Taron, which is an Intamin Blitz roller coaster. That is my favourite roller coaster in the world. Absolutely phenomenal, that roller coaster is. It is just crazy. I mean, the launches on that, the airtime you get, everything is absolutely insane. And it also intertwines with Rake, which is a family Vekoma boomerang coaster as well. And then other rides there include Windjass, Fear and Force, 2 dueling spinning coasters. There is Colorado Adventure, which is a really good mine train coaster as well. I mean, it has something like 3 or 4 lift hills on it. It goes on for what feels like forever, but not that you're complaining. It is a really enjoyable family coaster. And yeah, there is a big selection of other rides there as well. They've got Chapas, which is world's steepest log flume, and that's really good as well, and it's got a really catchy soundtrack to it as well. And yeah, so tips in terms of the language barrier there. So I have said for the past 2 days when reviewing Efteling and Toverland how everyone in the Netherlands speaks English, and I mean literally everyone. Now, it's not quite the same in Germany, especially where we were. Now, Phantasialand, obviously a lot of tourists from other countries do go there. I mean, Phantasialand, you know, people fly out there and go there from countries across the world. You know, it's a major worldwide theme park, but kind of the place it's in, it's not a very kind of touristy kind of place, if you know what I mean. So like, for example, Berlin and all around there, you know, that's kind of big tourist cities and all that, whereas it isn't where Phantasialand is in Cologne and around there. So most people can't speak English. So now for me it was alright because my dad actually speaks German. So yeah, he learnt it years ago, so it was actually fine for us because my dad spoke German, so we got on absolutely fine, no problems at all. However, a few people did try to speak to me, like a few ride operators and all that, and I just couldn't communicate. I just smiled, and I mean, they knew what was going on. Like, you know, they get loads of visitors there from abroad. Like, they knew full well what the score was. That, you know, I was just like, you know, a tourist from another country there. But yeah, none of them speak English. I mean, one of them said hi to me, and that was about as far as it got, which, I mean, I'm not going to complain about because it's the same over here, isn't it? I mean, barely anyone here can speak German, so it's just the same, isn't it? But yeah, so you will struggle. Next time I go there, I might just learn a few basics just before I go of German, just like kind of like where's this, where's that, you know, nothing major. And what you do need to know is numbers, because whenever you go onto a ride, they do assign you to a specific ride bay, and the last thing you want is like tell you a number and you just don't have a clue where they're going. But again, you know, it's not the end of the world if you don't learn German, because they know this, and that's why they hold up the hands showing how many numbers it is. So, you know, it's nothing to worry about. You can get along there fine. But what I'm saying is, you know, it is good. It would be a lot more convenient and easy just to learn a few basics, or just use Google Translate. One of them, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, definitely make sure you do that. But yeah, so what else do we need to talk about? The theming inside the park, I will just say, is absolutely awesome. You know, it's just fully themed throughout. Some areas are better than others. So, for example, kind of the older area of the park where they've got Hollywood on Tour, which is an older boat ride, which is good. It just needs a few renovations. It's just slightly behind in its time. It reminds me of a bigger river cave from Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and a few other rides in that area as well. You know, it don't look bad as such, you know, not at all. You know, it's still, you know, looked after and all that. It's just slightly older, that's all. And you can tell that is the next project that we'll be getting round to. He's doing all that up, and they've been going around the park, but definitely doesn't look bad. It's just, you know, you can tell that is kind of the older section of the park that could do with some love in years coming up in the future. So definitely just bear that in mind. Food at the park I found to be absolutely fine. I mean, we had a few bits there, but one thing I can remember that I did have, which is an absolute bargain, was a bratwurst and in a roll, so basically a hot dog, but with it being a bratwurst, and that was only €3. So I mean, what an absolute bargain that was. I mean, you've got to have a bratwurst when you go to Germany, haven't you? It's like coming on a holiday to the UK and not having fish and chips. Like, you've just got to, haven't you? So yeah, you've got to have your bratwurst when you're in Germany. And yeah, that was not bad at all. I mean, they've also got all your normal stuff there, like I had chips and all that kind of normal stuff as well. Like, they've got all that stuff and all the other stuff as well. And a drink I absolutely love is Mezzo Mix, which is like a mix of it's kind of like Coke and Fanta, like kind of mixed together. It doesn't sound great, but when you have it, it's absolutely lovely, and you can barely ever find it in the UK. But yeah, it's everywhere you go in Germany, so I definitely made the most of having a lot of Mezzo Mix while I was over there, because I really do like that drink. So yeah, definitely give that a try if you go in there for the first time, certainly. But yeah, I do think that's about it that we have covered here from Phantasialand. Yeah, so great ride selection. They've got, I mean, as I was talking about earlier, all the different family coasters and stuff. There is a real variety. If you are a non-rider here, I don't feel like there is quite as much to do. However, you can go on some of the dark rides like Mouse or Chocolat and Hollywood on Tour as well. They are just kind of gentle rides that just take you around and stuff like that. They do also have a monorail as well. So, you know, you won't be completely stuck with things to do. And with the park being so well themed as well, there is stuff to look at as you're going round. And also, another thing to remember is less walking as well. So when you go to the Efteling, I mean, you can easily, I mean, I had my Fitbit on that day when I was at the Efteling, and I think it was something like 17,000 steps I'd done that day, and which was crazy. And that was on the shorter day because we spent 2 days at Efteling, and the second day we didn't spend the full day there because we had to drive down to Phantasialand, and even then I'd done like 17,000 steps. That really isn't the case over at Phantasialand, because it is very compact, and that is a good thing a lot of the time. So, you know, you're not walking around for miles, and if you are on one side of the park and think, oh, you know what, I really fancy to go on this ride that's on the other side of the park, and literally a 5-minute walk through all the various themed lands there, and you're there straight away. So that is another big benefit of there too. But other than that, I think I have covered everything from Phantasialand today. I hope you did enjoy this review, or spotlight, I don't know what I'm going to call them yet. They can stay as reviews for now, and if I change my mind though, we'll do that at a later stage. So thank you very much for watching today, and I will see you tomorrow for another video on the channel. I've not decided what it's going to be yet, but I do think it'll definitely be a video kind of similar to this, where I'll be reviewing something or talking about something or something like that. So I will see you tomorrow in tomorrow's video, and do go over to themeparkjack.com, because I have actually now put my Toverland review on my news and reviews feed on there, so go and have a look at that. And I will also be putting my Phantasialand review on my news and reviews feed on there too very soon. So thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.